Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, bringing you another cryptocurrency video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. As we all know, Bitcoin has had a very healthy correction from 20,000 in the highs all the way back down to around 10,500 in its lows, and we're hanging around 14,000 right now as we speak on New Year's Eve it is. And, you know, Bitcoin's had this very nice pullback, but something that's interesting to look at in the cryptocurrency market is that the market cap actually hasn't moved much. It's mainly just this BTC dominance right here. And why is that? The reason that the market cap hasn't changed that much for all of cryptocurrency, despite Bitcoin's market cap changing drastically, over $100 billion worth of value in Bitcoin has been wiped away in the past month, in the month of December. Despite that, all of cryptocurrency's market cap really has not changed that much, and that's because a lot of the value in Bitcoin is moving from Bitcoin to other cryptocurrencies. I think there's two reasons for that. I think part of that is because Bitcoin fees are getting so high, people are getting a little disenfranchised with it. And also because Bitcoin was looking for a correction and it needed a correction. Not necessarily all of cryptocurrency needed a correction, but Bitcoin did. So people aren't disenfranchised with all of cryptocurrency, and not necessarily even Bitcoin. They just move their profits from Bitcoin into other low coins that are low now, like Litecoin and Ripple. As we've seen, Ripple has just exploded in the last basically ever. Ripple started exploding basically right around the time Bitcoin crashed. So what does that mean? If we look over here on the cryptocurrency market cap as opposed to the Bitcoin market cap, and we look at the market capitalization for the last 3 months, if we look at the total cryptocurrency market capitalization for the last 3 months, we've basically been going sideways. We've had a little bit up and down here. We came all the way down to about 400. Probably around 420 billion dollars about 2 weeks ago. So what does that mean? That means that a lot of the people that are selling their Bitcoin are not exiting on cryptocurrency. They're just moving their cryptocurrency. They're just moving their value from Bitcoin to other cryptocurrencies. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about Bitcoin in particular and what it's doing with regard to the rest of cryptocurrency and where I think it's going to go and what I think it's going to do in the coming months and weeks and months, I should say. So I'm going to go over the good and the bad of Bitcoin, but I'm going to go over the bad first so I can refute the bad and my good, because I do think I am bullish on Bitcoin despite it being in kind of a strange position. So let's get right into that. If we look at the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin ran up all the way up here to 20,000, sorry. It ran up all the way here to 20,000. Don't mean to insult you, Bitcoin. It ran up here all the way to 20,000. It actually double topped on Coinbase. On other exchanges it didn't, but on Coinbase it double topped. And after it hit that, it fell down and it crashed all the way down here below the 50-day moving average to about $10,500. And this wick came right through the 50-day moving average. And the 50-day moving average, as we could see back here with this pullback that we had back in November, and this pullback back here that we saw after the 5,000 run and all the China news and whatever that guy's name from JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, all that news after we crashed through here. The 50-day moving average has been key support, as we saw right here. It's been key resistance, as we saw right here. And it's really been a sell signal when you get through it, as we saw right here. If we go back here, the 50-day moving average is also key support. When we were hitting this 50-day moving average back here is right around the time I was getting into Bitcoin. I think on this candlestick right here is the day I got into Bitcoin, this green candlestick. And yeah, we had key support here and here. So the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average, which is the line below it, are very, very important moving averages, and they mean a lot in cryptocurrency. So when we look at the 50-day moving average up here at Bitcoin, we've hit it twice. We had the candlestick go all the way through it, which when that kind of happens with a 50-day or 100-day moving average, and even MACD indicators, which are just 13 and 34 moving averages, well, actually, they're different, but you could use 13 and 34. That's a bit different. When the candlestick comes through the 50-day moving average too far, it goes through this top line, which in this case the 50-day, it can kind of pull the chart, pull the market back to the 50-day moving average and potentially even through it. And we did see this with the 3,000 run up. What we saw here was we hit this 50-day moving average with a candlestick, and then we had another touch on it, which is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing exactly this right now. We're seeing a candlestick hit the 50-day moving average, and then we're seeing another touch on it, and then we came down here to the 100-day and got support and jumped back up. So that's what we're seeing now, and that's a little worrying that we're seeing the exact same pattern that we saw after we went to the 100-day. And if that were to come to fruition, we could see a Bitcoin go all the way down to 9,500 or 10,000 again, which wouldn't be very good for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin double bottomed here, that would be fantastic for Bitcoin in the long run, but if it went below this bottom, if it went below 10,000, that would be a lower low, and that's really, really not good. But the reason I don't think that's going to happen is because Bitcoin has a lot more. It has a lot more. It has a lot more people behind it, and a lot of the weak-handed investors have already been flushed out of this. They're already gone. A lot of the people that are still holding their Bitcoin and keeping Bitcoin propped up, like me, are long-term believers that know that Bitcoin is going to go to 50,000, 100,000 if the fees get fixed, and they know the potential of cryptocurrency. So a lot of the people that were going to sell have already sold, and we have a very nice green candle here signaling the upside. And another reason I don't think that this is necessarily the end for Bitcoin is because if we look historically at the last year in the global market capitalization for all of cryptocurrency total, when we saw that pullback, I was worried about us recreating, which if I show you again, see how we have this wick here that came through the 50-day, and then we're bouncing off the 50-day. If the market was to do the same thing as last time, we'd go up a little bit, and then up a little bit, and then we'd crash down here to the 100-day, and then go up. That's what excuse me. I have breakfast right before I make these videos. Sorry about that. If we were to see the same kind of market cycle that we saw back then, we would see the market do something like what my line showed here, and probably around the end of January, we'd get back up. The end of January, mid-February, we'd get back up to 20,000. I don't think that's going to happen, and the reason I don't think that's going to happen, and if you see, the same thing, that's what happened back here in June. We hit a wick on the 50-day, and then we hit 2 candlesticks on the 50-day, and then we fell back through it. We just couldn't prop ourselves up. Now I'm going to show you why I don't think that's going to happen. If we look at the total market capitalization, which I was going over earlier, if we see back here when that was happening, we hit a high in the market cap of around, I think there's $116 billion right around here, $112, $114 billion, and the market cap of all of cryptocurrency crashed to $65 billion. So not only was Bitcoin value cut by 40%, all of cryptocurrency's market capitalization was cut by 40%. If we look in the last 3 months and we look at this recent pullback, all of cryptocurrency's market capitalization has been cut by 5%. That's nothing. That means that people are not becoming disenfranchised with cryptocurrency. They're becoming, on the short term, disenfranchised with Bitcoin because Bitcoin has high fees and Bitcoin was due for a correction. Now, if we look at the total market capitalization excluding Bitcoin, it's actually going up. The altcoins are doing really, really well. And if we look at the BTC dominance up here, this also shows this. The Bitcoin dominance was getting close to 60%. It was up to 66%. I remember seeing 66% about 3 weeks ago, but when we were up at 20,000. Its dominance has been cut nearly in half, all the way down to 38%. That signifies to me and to the technical analysts out there that, and I'm not a technical analyst, I just use a bit of technical analysis to see when is a good time to buy. I'm not claiming to be a technical analyst, but when you see something like that, that signifies that people are not becoming disenfranchised with cryptocurrency. They're just reading the market and seeing that Bitcoin is crashing, so they're pulling their money out into more fruitful ventures. So, with that being said, I do think Bitcoin is about to bounce here. I think we've seen our bottom. If we go to the hour chart, we've basically seen a double bottom here. I can draw a line for this. This line right here is basically a double bottom on the candlesticks, not on the wicks. I normally don't use the wicks, but if we drew a line through here, that's a bit of an uptrend. We have a double bottom in total, and we have basically a double bottom right here. And on the hourly, we're having a very, very nice green candlestick. I bought around 14,000 back here somewhere. And I'm a long-term holder. If it goes down to 9,000, I'm fine with that. It just means I'll buy more. So, yeah, I do think Bitcoin has a good long history, a good long run in front of it. And let's look at the market capitalization also. Ripple has crashed it's pulled back by 5%. The rest of all of cryptocurrency is green right now. Bitcoin's up 11% today. I think we're about to see the resurrection of Bitcoin, as it were. The Lightning Network for Bitcoin is being worked on. When that comes out, that's going to be a huge, huge bonus to Bitcoin because the transaction fees are going to crash. Because moving Bitcoin right now is like moving an elephant with a bobsled. It's ridiculous. The fees are so very expensive. I hope you like the colorful example. So yeah, I do think Bitcoin's a good example. I'm rambling. I should probably tell you exactly what I think it's going to do. I think we're going to see Bitcoin hit 20,000 again in the month of January or late February. I want to be conservative with what I estimate because I don't want to give you guys false hope. But I do think we're going to be back up here at the highs within 2 months, within a month and a half, within a month even probably. We're seeing a nice green candlestick here. We could see another bull run, but it would be it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we were to stay down here for a little bit longer. Let me show you another thing. If we go to the 4 hour, this is probably where this is most visible. One thing that's kind of concerning in cryptocurrency, and that a lot of people have been pointing out, is that Bitcoin looks like it's in a head and shoulders formation, which is a head and shoulders formation is exactly what you see at the reversal of a market. A head and shoulders formation is a market reversal pattern. So if you draw a head and shoulders, you just draw up here. That's the shoulder, the head, the shoulder. You get a high, a higher high, a lower high, and then you fall off. And if this head and shoulders pattern were to come to fruition, yeah, we would see Bitcoin start having a nice pullback. The reason I don't think that's going to happen is twofold. One, if we remove this line here, I'll be able to show you. We're actually seeing a head and shoulders pattern right here, which when you see a head and shoulders pattern at the top of a market, that means that the market's going to go down. But when you see a head and shoulders pattern at the bottom of a market, that means the market's going to go up because it's a reversal. We're seeing a head and shoulders pattern here at the bottom of the market, which signifies that we should be going up. So we're getting conflicting messages, aren't we? We're getting a head and shoulders pattern that's more broad saying we should go down, and a head and shoulders pattern at the bottom saying we should go up. Now, Bitcoin, if you're new to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin moves so fast. It's been called the stock market on fast forward, and there's a reason for that. The market moves so fast, and people completely forget about and stop considering what happened 2 weeks ago in cryptocurrency. So when people are doing the technical analysis and deciding whether or not they want to buy, they're not going to be looking as much at this big head and shoulders. They're going to be looking at this head and shoulders that formed over the last week and a half and say, oh, well, that's a head and shoulders pattern. Time to buy. And as you can see, as we speak, we're having a very nice jump up out of this head and shoulders pattern, which means that we're basically the way this works. We have a crash down here. We have the head and shoulders pattern. And then, the way the head and shoulders pattern works is that you break out of it. You come up close to as fast as you were. So it would be possible that we see this line right here get followed as opposed to this line over. Let me go to the 1 day and you'll see that. So because of the way this head and shoulders works, it's very possible that we're going to see something like this line right here as opposed to this line right here. It really all depends on if we break through this 50-day support. So if you see us break below this 50-day support, 50-day moving average support, and we stay there for a couple of days, that's going to be kind of a bad sign for Bitcoin. But if this is the bottom, this right here is our short-term bottom, and we keep going up, now is a phenomenal time to buy Bitcoin. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would be buying Bitcoin right now. Look at that candlestick. There's a lot of exuberance in the market. There is a lot of exuberance in the market, and I think Bitcoin is about to go on another bull run, not just because, but in part because of this head and shoulders pattern. That's a very, very bullish indicator, since it is a short-term indicator, since people do use short-term indicators more than long-term indicators in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is always going up. Bitcoin's the only market that can just go up forever. But anyway, guys, Bitcoin, I think, does have a good future in front of it. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and you're looking to hold it long-term, you could have bought it 20,000 and you'll be in profit in a couple of months from now, or you can buy it now and you'll be in profit 10 minutes from now. That's the way these work. If you're looking to buy long-term, there you go. You're not going to get a better opportunity. We might never see these levels again, so it's best to pick some up now. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, because I make cryptocurrency videos like this all the time. I'm making a video tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and I'm just going to keep making videos until my heart runs out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.